In a previous video, I told you why you shouldn't spar. In this video, I'm going to tell you why you should. No doubt about it, if you want to be a swimmer, sooner or later you're going to have to get wet. Nothing I have said should be misconstrued to mean that I'm against sparring in principle. I'm not. I think sparring is important. I think it's very important. In fact, I think it's so important, I'd rather you didn't fuck it up. Drills are for skills. Drills are for skills because they provide the repetition required to acquire skill. Drills are planned, they're prearranged, the variables are known, the options are limited, and the actions are predictable. The advantage of drills is that there are no surprises. The disadvantage of drills is that there are no surprises. The advantage of sparring is that it's all surprises. You never know for sure what your opponent is going to do or when or how. It's the ultimate in recognition and response exercise. It's spontaneous, it's creative. It's never the same twice. When should you spar? Well, I'll tell you how I know my guys are ready to spar. They're ready for sparring when their skills are not overwhelmed by their emotions. What I mean is, when I give them something sudden and unpredictable in a lesson, do they run? Do they freeze? Do they panic? What I'm looking for is that they can stay cool under pressure and execute their techniques. They may not be perfect, that's okay, but they keep their wits about them and do the appropriate thing, even if they don't do it very well, that their emotions are not getting the better of them. Then it's time for them to taste a little sparring. The progression from drills to sparring should be a step and not a leap. By the time my guys spar, they've done a lot of drills. They've given and received a lot of touches. So the step to sparring isn't a big one. I've said before that the advantage that boxers have is pain and fear. The advantage that fencers have is an absence of pain and fear. What that means is that when you spar, you can be very relaxed. You know you're not going to get hurt. You can explore things, try things that you might not want to try if it was going to cost you blood. But there's a trap there. Because you're not paying a price, it's easy to get sucked into doing things because you can, rather than because you should. So when you spar, you must remain true to the nature of the weapon and its use. Don't come out and twirl it like a baton just because you can. How do you get the most out of your sparring sessions? Well, there's a number of ways to go about it. Let me give you some ideas. The first most important thing is don't keep score. Save that for game day. Just set a timer, relax, don't worry about how many touches, how many of this, and how many of that. Just do it. Next, work on something in particular. My teacher, Mr. Logan, used to do this all the time. When it came time for sparring or bouting, he would say, whisper in my ear, Adam, tonight your job is to hit only with a counter repost. Or tonight your job is only to hit by doublé. Ooh, that was a good one. So I have to figure out, what do I have to do to make my opponent do the thing I want him to do so I can do the thing I want to do? That's good exercise. Because above all else, you must become the locus of control of your opponent's behavior. Here's another idea. Don't be in a big hurry to hit just because you can. Have a conversation. Argument, counter-argument, rebuttal. Make it last. Select a touch that you want to make and create a phrase to make it happen. Let me tell you one side story. I first picked up the sword in around 1970. And between then and the time I graduated with my fencing master diploma in 1980, I crossed blades with a lot of people. And of all those times, there's only one. There's only one that I cherish. My brother Rick was teaching a class. It was at night in the summer. And I wandered by just to hang out with him afterwards, maybe go get a beer or something. And the students in the class said, "Oh, you're both fencing masters. Can we see you fence?" Oh boy, oh boy. So I picked up a blade, found a mask, and I said, "Okay, let's fence a few touches and see what happens." And so we fenced a little. Now Rick, you must know, Rick's technique was exquisite. He could do anything. He was an artiste with that sword, man. And so crossing blades with him was wonderful. We fenced a few touches. And we felt it had gone long enough. We said to one of the students, time 1 minute on the clock and yell time when the minute is up. And we fenced another minute. So we fenced another minute and the student yelled time and we shook hands and that was that. And I thought, that was probably a nice 3 or 4 minute little bout. And then I looked at the clock. We had fenced for much, much longer than that. I won't tell you how long. But the students were sitting on the bleachers with their eyes as big as saucers, speechless. And that was the most beautiful bout I have ever had. It was a conversation, it was a debate, it was a dance. If I could wish one thing for you, I would wish you to have even just one bout like that. They say, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. Sparring? Absolutely. Do it. But do it right.